Hey, it's Uncle Joe with Uncle Joe Hikes. We're parked here at the end of the road. If you come up through Take City, that's actually the most cars I've ever seen parked here. This is the Deep Gap branch trail that goes up to the AT. It's also part of a loop, a different loop, kind of keeps you off of the AT. Maybe that's what some of those people are doing, I don't know. But anyway, this will take you up there. We're gonna run up there. It's been a while since I've been up this trail. I may add a little bit to it when we get up here too. And let's get some hiking in. I'm getting a late start. It's a long way up here, but it's not gonna be a long hike, but it'll probably be pretty steep here for a little while. Water's beautiful. We make our way up. Lots of down trees right here. While I've been up here in the area since the forest fire several years ago, I don't know that I've been along this trail. It's been long enough I don't remember any of this being down, so seeing some moss there, type of moss or butterflies. There's a butterfly right there. All right, this is our split. This is going to go on up to AT. This is going to go around and summit Big Scaly, and you can work your way around and down a draw and back to the road. But we're going on up to Deep Gap. As soon as we get across this little creek crossing, well, there's some kind of scat on that rock right there. I took a break over there to get that base layer off because this sun is making things warm. The breeze is a little bit chilly. But with this hot sun beating down, it actually feels good. It's probably in the mid-50s, so no reason for a base layer. Anyway, we're moving on. There's a lot of destruction. You can see a lot of these hemlocks are dead. I don't really think it's from beetles or anything like that. It could be. I think a lot of this happened when the fires came through. You can see some charring on a tree straight ahead there. You know, you hate to see it. You hate to see it when it's natural. You hate even more when somebody set a fire. I do believe some of the fires that year had been the result of arson, but not all of them. But that was a fiery year here in the southeast. It was a mess. There was a lot of fires back over on Patterson Gap Road. As you were driving up, you could see green on one side, burn on the other, where they had stopped it at that road, it looked like. So that was a good thing. But the forest will grow back. I can hear some people right over there. It's like the trail's going to make a turn here. They may be fishing over here, I don't know. We're checking out a cascade, maybe. There's a group of hikers there. I think they're Japanese. It's about 12 of them. They went up and turned around. They really weren't far from the AT. I'm sure, because we're not far from the AT. But this is a tough little section because it's highly off camber. It's a lot of leaves here. And if you tumble down, you're going to go down to the creek or down to that perch. So, work our way through. All right. More water to cross here. I'm a little surprised at how bare that little knob is. Some of this could, of course, be storm related. It's been a little while since I've been here, so obviously the blowdown's not going to be necessarily a fire. Whole roadbed going that way, so keeping to our left here, you can see some char on that tree right there. Keep picking our way. Sometimes you don't remember something. We just came from that way. I picked my way this way instead of across the mouth. That's why you hike something again sometimes, especially when it's been a while. Beautiful creek. This is a very steep section of trail. As you can see down there's where we came from. We still got a little ways to go up yet. Should plane out here soon though. This isn't a long climb. In fact, when we get a deep gap, we'll barely be over 2 miles. But it's a long continuous climb. And this little section right here, the last 100 yards, 200 yards, very steep. For some reason I remember the steepest part being on the other side of the creek, but I probably got it conflated with another trail. They all start to run together sometimes when you're going, especially going up a draw. You start thinking about other draws that you've gone up. Anyway, ain't nothing to do, we keep going. Give you some perspective. The ridge behind me here, I believe there's another ridge right behind that the AT is on. I don't think this is the main ridge, but I could be wrong. It may go all the way up to that point. But that ridge where the AT runs, of course, is where I saw that bear at Wateroak Stamp, which is just kind of back over my left shoulder. So this area's got some bears in it. They're going to be waking up now, so you know, might see one, might not. Well, this is a curious spot. You got a blue blaze there and you got some over here. I would assume that means this is eventually going to hook around to there. Looks like this is a better spot right here. A little bit of a reroute, which is fine. Yeah, these are newer blazes too, so they're trying to keep you off of that crossing. That crossing probably was good at one time with a log or something and has since gone away. So pick our way across this. This draw forks right here. You got a creek that goes this way, and I think this is going to be our deep gap branch. And that makes sense because this is the climb that I remembered being on the opposite side of the creek. Is because it was that draw, this new one, and not the main one, because it forked off. So I remember this being very steep, and the camera's not really going to tell you very much, but you can kind of see what it's doing here. This is the second of 2 steep pitches. So when we were down there, back to our right, this looked like it might be Standing Indian. I was using the GPS, but Standing Indian's actually back here. This is a lower knob. I'll try to put the name of it in the bottom. But I believe that to be Standing Indian. And it's a wide ridge too. You hike that ridge for a long time along the AT when you leave it. It's a big one. We keep making our way up this little steep section. It's a killer series of short chicanes. I think eventually it's going to take us into these laurels and rhododendrons, if I remember right. That climb is brutal. I'd forgotten how long it was. In fact, I was beginning to think I was on the wrong fork. And it's getting a little bit growed over. Summertime, that'll be fairly overgrown if we don't get some traffic up here. But I do remember this knotty tree right here. And I remember this drainage too. So we just got to hook around, I think, right here. All right, we just made our sharp turn here. So this whole double track merges with another one right there. Kind of made a way away from the Gap. Now we're heading back toward it. Somewhere along in here, I believe the old AT came through and merged here to go to Deep Gap. Now it goes all the way around that knob. I'd hope to possibly hike that back around, but it don't look like it's very prominent through here where a old trail is. I have a pretty good idea where it is up on the AT proper, because I remember seeing a trail, what looked like a trail beaten down, but I don't see it coming out here anywhere. So that idea might be out the window. Well, I'd say, judging by the vehicles here, the road is actually open. They opened it in March instead of April. Quite a few folks up here. And some flowers. Well, we got lots of hikers coming down, some through hikers, and these folks over here are doing some trail magic. Give them some water and bananas and stuff. So yeah, AT comes through there and then comes back over my shoulder here. So this opened up on March 15th, he said, so that's good to know. Get some water and unexpected snacks. Well, I took a real long break back there. Got to meet a lot of through hikers. Got to meet Seth and Kelly. Good to meet you too. They were doing some trail magic, and we got to talk a good bit about the trail. He's done a good, like 300 and plus miles of it. I've done about a forward progress 167 plus all the stuff I've done up at Rome. So yeah, kind of shared some stories there. Had a good time. I'm not going to do that loop around to the old section of the AT because I just don't see where this trail's coming out. I'm afraid if I go around there, I might not find my way down without a fair amount of bushwhacking, and I'm not a bushwhacker, so I don't know. Maybe there's some more figuring on that. We've done this out and back before, so that's all we're going to do today. To be honest with you, to climb up took a good bit out of me, so there's a long section of really steep climbing, so that's all the simulated distance I really needed. They did a good job of that. There's Standing Indian looming large. A lot of the through hikers that were coming through, that's their, I say their destination. Our destination's actually a little bit further back at the shelter. And they'll see Standing Indian proper in the morning on their way out. But I also saw a family with some really young children heading up the hill. I have a feeling they might be going to stay at the shelter too. I don't know. Maybe they're going to go up and camp on top of the mountain. I don't know. I guess the point is, there's going to be a lot of people at the shelter, it looks like, tonight. Well, we're back in this high bowl here. It's funny how when you're hiking a trail like this, as you know, kind of not necessarily flat, but as open and solid as all this seems, you wouldn't even think that you're fixing to drop out way down here shortly. You can see how high up we are here as we start this descent. I don't believe all of this vegetation was flattened out the last time I was here. Certainly not the first time I was here. So it'll be interesting to look at the last video. And I also don't know if I filmed it with my GoPro. I may not have had the GoPro then, so nothing else. Maybe we're getting better footage this time. But yeah, we got a lot of this to do. So if you're wondering what do you do when you're descending something this steep, now this is not quite as steep as much of this is, but one thing you want to do is find stuff that's been in the trail a long time, like this rock. Get your foot right in front of that rock. This one coming up right here, get your foot right in front of it. look for roots to put your foot in front of as well. Anything that's been in that trail a long time is probably going to not want to move, right? I don't know if you can see it or not, but right through there, try to watch the camera and give you, right in that area, it's like a white hat or shirt on somebody. I whistled, didn't get a response. That may not be anything, but it sure looks like a person, but they're not really moving a whole lot. I thought I saw them moving to and fro. Well, we got down our two steep sections. Got to cross those. Probably the two hardest creek crossings, though they weren't real hard. Some boulder hopping. Yeah, we're just making our way down now. We're just gonna go through a series of chicanes through some rhododendrons, a couple of more shallow creeks, and we should meet up that trail that comes off of the ridge to our left, and then double track the old Gubby. Water dropping off that rock. Drops down a good bit right there. There's not as much of it as the creek over to our right. I want to give a shout out to my buddy Scotty. We grew up together. Just recently got back in touch because his mom passed away, and she was like a second mama to me. I was just so sorry to hear about her passing, but glad that he and I got back in touch. You know, really growing up, we had a small patch of woods by my house. We had an orange grove, and then we had a huge sand dune area. To us, that was like a desert. But that was my first real exposure to the woods. You know, Scotty was kind of fearless, and I really wasn't. He'd drag me out there anyway. And he did so much to bring out in me things that I needed, you know. My dad wasn't really around. Scotty's daddy was tough as nails, so consequently, Scotty was tough as nails. But it was a big help to me, and I appreciate it. I'm so glad to be back in touch with him, and look forward to staying in touch with him. But yeah, part of me coming out here is part of the legacy of that friendship, and in later years my cousins, you know, and things like that. So other people in your life are important, because you never know what contribution they're going to make that's going to affect you your whole life. And I love coming out here, and you know, it all started as a kid, you know. But anyway, we're almost to Gobi. Take a look at how big that fire ring is. That's crazy. Nice spot though by the creek. Well, there's old Gobi waiting patiently. Hopefully nobody broke in and got my G.I. Joe Jeep. Well, my G.I. Joe's gonna have to use that Kung Fu grip to thumb his way home. Well, Deep Gap branch done. Again, I think this is about my third time doing this. I'm not sure if I filmed it with the GoPro last time. I may have had my old camera, but oh well. I'm really sorry I didn't do the old section of the AT. When I didn't see it dumping back out, I got nervous about going all the way around and then trying to find it. I think I could find where it comes off the AT, but I was afraid I might lose it coming through the woods, and I just didn't feel like hunting and pecking my way through there. I also didn't download a proper track because I knew this trail relatively well, and I had Gaia. I was okay, but I didn't have a really good track of that little section, and I think I probably would have wanted to have it if I was going to do it. I wouldn't do it in the summer, that's for sure, so that may be on hold for a while if I do it at all. But anyway, sorry I didn't get that section in. That was kind of like going to be like the extra surprise of this video. But we did get to visit with Seth and Kelly, and and see some through hikers up there, which was nice. I didn't film a whole lot of that or anything, but it was good to meet them, and hopefully they'll check out my videos and sleep a lot better at night. So anyway, we're gonna get out of here and get something to eat.